Tonight on The Roast, Victorian Liberals ask Tony Abbott to consider privatising public broadcasters, Pope Francis performs an exorcism, and Prague plans the introduction of new singles-only train carriages. Finally, there'll be a reason why train seats are so sticky. Opposition leader Tony Abbott is facing internal pressure from Victorian Liberals to privatise the ABC and SBS if he wins the September election. Or, as they'd say on a privatised ABC, when he wins the September election. Now, those in favour of the idea put forward two arguments. Firstly, that in the face of enormous national debt, these publicly owned non-profit organisations like the ABC and SBS are no longer valid in 2013. And secondly, that they're both guilty of a left-leaning bias. Well, to discuss that second dimension, we'll cross to our media analyst, Mark Humphreys. Mark, the ABC might not be conservative, but does it really have a left-leaning political bias?
Vote Labor.
Oh, wow, OK, so yeah, I guess the Liberal Party has a point.
Yeah, even the teleprompters are biased. This one was Maxine McHugh's.
OK, and don't you think that's a problem?
Yes, so to avoid this criticism, it's time for the ABC to straighten up and fly right. Rejig some shows to cater to a slightly more conservative viewpoint. Like, take the bananas and pyjamas. Just pop some respectable clothes on that fruit. And a lot of parents let their kids watch Play School, but what about private school? And a little less Good Game, a little more Stop the Boats. Also a little less Q&A.
Right, and a little more...
Just a little less Q&A.
OK, and if all of that still fails to change the Victorian Liberals' perception of a left lean?
Well, the ABC has an emergency stilt system that can raise one side of the building to literally lean more to the right. Like this.
Oh, not now, Mark. Oh, shoot. Ow. Well, truth be told, addressing the perceived left-leaning bias takes a lot of work, but consider the alternative, privatisation. The ABC and SBS would be forced to undertake enormous changes like being efficient and putting on programs that people actually watch. Instead of SBS showing the current schedule of Korean news, Japanese news, Hong Kong news, Chinese news, Hindi news, Italian news and Filipino news, they'd just have an hour of ethnic news. It'd be horrible. Oh, I beg to differ, Lefty Tom. Who are you? I'm you if the roast went commercial. Oh my God, you get to wear pants? Yep, every day, poor Tom, and twice on weekends. Oh, we can only afford half a suit. Still, at least I'm not some corporate sellout. Oh, hey, we're more than just Bryn Edelstone and saying brand names for money. I can get all the Kia Rios I can drive. At best, you get what, 100,000 viewers a night? That's the population of Ballarat. Here on the commercial roast, we hit the 1.3 million figure nightly, no matter what crap we show. Coming up next, the 3 most embarrassing crotch injuries on YouTube. OK, well, yeah, we may not have any money or celebrities or Kia Rios, but at least I don't have to toe some corporate line. My boss isn't some shareholder, it's the Australian taxpayer. And the truth. And while you may have your gorgeous twinkling mouth, I have my dignity. You should try criticising your precious sponsors, you sellout. Oh, shut up. Sellout? OK, enough, all right? Kia Rios are actually made out of... Oh. Commercial Tom got fired?
No, of course not. Commercial Tom and our network went our separate ways, and we wish Commercial Tom all the best in his future endeavours, whatever they might be.
Well, that doesn't sound too great.
My helicopter does, though. See you later, Popo Tom! Tom! Wake up, Tom!
Oh, what happened?
Light hit you on your fat head and knocked you out.
Oh, thank God, it was just a terrible dream. Mark, you were there, and I was there, and I was gorgeous. Wait, what did we film while I was unconscious?
Well, we just filmed you lying on the ground shrieking about pants for 2 minutes.
Oh, and no one complained?
No one's watching.
Oh, thank God. Well, next up tonight, transport officials in the Czech capital of Prague are planning to introduce train carriages for single people. And I got to say, I'm all for this segregation because when I travel by train, I hate getting stuck in conversation with some urine-soaked weirdo only to find out they're not available. Philip Drapel, a spokesman for the transport company Ropid, said he hopes the initiative will lure people out of their cars and onto public transportation. Oh, can we get a look at this Drapel guy who wants to do the luring? Oh yeah, I'd do him. Now, we went on to explain that public transport is not only a means of travel, but you can do things there that you can't do in your car. Oh, Philip, I think I know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, no more newspaper-related car accidents for me. Now, of course, I'm not saying that Philip is using this initiative to meet women, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, as the host of a TV show, I can't deny I've occasionally taken advantage of my position.
Tom, you wanted me?
I sure did. Give it to me. Oh yeah! But what's this singles train carriage initiative going to be like? Well, to find out, we'll cross now to our reporter Nick Richardson, who's on a trial run of Prague's new Love Train. Nick.
Tom, I can't wait. I am so sick of trying to get lucky at clubs. With all the loud music, I can never properly recite my pickup lines. Speaking of which, what do you think of this one? Next stop, my bedroom.
Oh man, that can't not work.
Yeah, sweet. I've also got a couple of other things lined up to make the ladies come to Nikki. A few Penguin classics that I'm emotionally invested in, a moleskin notepad for my poetry, and if it's cold and the windows fog up, I'll just draw a picture of my heart for her.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, shut up, Tom. I think this brunette's giving me the look.
Nick, is that your cologne?
Yeah.
Go get him, Tiger. And for a female perspective on the Czech train, let's cross to Rachel Corbett. Rach, what do you think of this idea?
I'm actually pretty excited, although I'm sure there are going to be a few losers who'll come up to me and say something super lame like, next stop, my bedroom. But at least it's finally an environment that's safe to meet, guys. I mean, there are security cameras here and guards at the door, lighting as well. Plus, getting out of an awkward situation is easy. You just say, oh, this is my stop, press the emergency stop button, punch a hole in the window and then just roll out onto the tracks.
Surely you could just wait until the train stops at the next station.
Tom, have you ever had a stranger try to comb your hair with his naked penis?
Comb my hair? No. Turning to our final story tonight, and Pope Francis has apparently performed an exorcism in St. Peter's Square by placing his hands on the head of a wheelchair-bound man who began shaking and recoiling from his touch. Oh, they blurred his face. I wanted him to do this. But the Vatican released a statement saying the Pope didn't intend to perform any exorcism, but as he often does for the sick or suffering, he simply intended to pray for someone who was suffering. Sure, the Pope may not have healed that man's disability, but at least he rid the body of the demon that was definitely inside of him. We'll turn now to our science reporter Clark Richards for a secular response. Clark, you've got to be pretty sceptical of this whole story. How does science explain the Pope Francis exorcism?
Tom, do we really want science to explain it? This is the greatest miracle I've seen since a street magician found a coin behind my ear.
Yeah, but that's magic.
I know, Tom. I didn't have a coin back there.
Yeah, but Clark, this is a man expelling a demon in the name of God. I thought you were a man of science.
Science is so boring, Tom. I'm sick of knowing exactly how things work. There's no mystery in the world anymore. Religion gives me a chance to experience a bit of wonder. Seeing that pixelated man tremble beneath the hand of His Holiness was the most exciting thing I've seen in ages. You don't get that in a lab.
Yeah, but Clark, how do you know this was actually an exorcism? There's no way to know that that man had a demon inside of him.
Well, I don't keep coins behind my ears. How else do you explain that?
Yeah, Clark Richards there, full of childish wonder. And for the religious angle, let's cross to Jazz Twemlow. Jazz, do you think this was a legitimate possession?
Oh, forget possession. I want to talk about this unplanned exorcism. Anything this Pope touches turns to God? I don't like it.
Okay, but he is the Pope.
Exactly. So we should expect better than just random, haphazard exorcisms. And according to Gabriel Armoth, former chief Vatican exorcist, the man was possessed by another 4 demons, which is why Armoth also performed a long exorcism on him. So not only can the Pope not control when he unloads his demon-thwarting beam ray, he can't even get all the demons out of the guy when he does. Amateur. Now, if you'll excuse me, Tom, I have to go do my master's bidding.
Okay, Jazz, well, good luck with wherever you're putting that thing. And before we go, let's cross back into the Love Train in Prague and see how our budding train romance is faring.
Hi.
Hey.
Could we switch seats?
Oh yeah, that's why love trains don't exist. Good night.